What's up, everybody? This is Adam, aka Cali Coaster, aka Punk Vid Music, aka Punk Vid 619 on the YouTubes. I'm here to do a fun video. This is more of the type of content that I like to create because it's more exciting for me and it shows the happier side and the fun side of theme parks, attractions, and roller coasters. And I got sidetracked for a few weeks by an event that took place in Orlando that I don't really want to get too much into. If you are not familiar, Epic Universe Stardust Racers roller coaster experienced a fatal injury on a guest. So the guest experienced the fatal injury on that ride. I did a few videos kind of going into my experience as a ride operator, things that may have happened. If you haven't seen those videos, go ahead and check those out after you watch this one. This is actually going to be a two-part series. This first part is going to focus on the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
To all our guests currently waiting to experience Cali Coaster Adventure's latest thrill, for your safety, we ask that you please stay off those air gates. Loading gates opening, stand back, stand clear. Welcome. Please watch your step as you enter the ride vehicle at this time. Please secure all loose articles. Leave them in the cubbies if you do not have a non-rider to leave them with. There are no loose articles allowed aboard this ride. Once you're seated, go ahead and secure those restraints. Keep your head back. Sit upright, hold on tight. Clear one, clear two, all clear. Dispatch, enjoy your ride.
I know I'm way behind. It's been reopened for about a year and 3 or 4 months at this point. It reopened in July of 2024 after undergoing a long refurbishment. Now, nothing with the ride itself had changed. I heard that there may have been a new ghost or a switch with an old ghost to something a little bit less haunting, but I don't remember if that was with this last rehab or something that they did previously. But it went through a major overhaul on the outer courtyard area where the queue line runs. They had to install an ADA compliant elevator system to better assist guests with mobility devices and getting into the attraction. When Haunted Mansion was originally built, ADA compliance was not a thing. ADA didn't come about until the 90s. So up until this point, Disneyland had been pretty safe with how they were operating for the older attractions that were built prior to ADA regulations coming into play. But it was recently decided that Disneyland needs to upgrade their facilities to better accommodate guests with mobility devices. And so that's what they did. So in order to do that, they had to completely remove the old switchback queue section on the back left side of the mansion. If you're looking from the mansion entrance, most of you probably remember that it kind of already felt like it didn't really belong. It didn't really fit with any of the storyline. Yes, there were some theming elements. There were, some funny tombstones, and there was a mausoleum wall that had, some punny and humorous language on them. But other than that, it was kind of just like a standard queue that you would find at any theme park with no real tie to the story of the Haunted Mansion. So the Imagineers decided that since they're going to have to redo the queue anyway, why not make it a more immersive experience, more akin to the newer attractions, such as those found at Galaxy's Edge, Indiana Jones, things like that, where it kind of takes you away from the fact that you're standing in line and puts you more into the mindset that you are already entering the story behind the Haunted Mansion the moment you step into that queue line. They added an atrium, patio trellis style boards overhead, a lot more garden elements, plants, things like that, more statuettes, and they actually have different sections within the queue. There's a really cool little section that is themed around Madame Leota, and there's some cool elements in there. Now, I have not personally been able to experience this in person, but I have seen videos, and from what I see, amazing job. Kudos to the Imagineers because they took something that kind of fell out of place with the story and made it part of the story. And that is one of the reasons I love Disney because they have a very special way of changing the fact that you're standing in line into something exciting. And the way that they have the queue weaving around through the courtyard garden area now, you don't really notice how long the line really is. You're just kind of moving through, enjoying the scenery and the ambient music that's now playing throughout. And I would love to see this, especially at night, because there's certain elements that have thematic lighting and effects that are more prevalent when it's dark out. Um, I don't want to watch a nighttime video of the walkthrough because I don't want to spoil that for whenever I do get the chance to experience it in person myself. But just watching the videos and watching the walkthroughs of this new queue section has me really excited for what Disney is going to be coming up with next because it feels like they're shifting back to the original idea that Walt Disney had when he first built the theme park and to immersive storytelling. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge did an amazing job with that, but there are still some areas that are lacking throughout the park. Not necessarily with new attractions, but with just new reimaginings of areas. Some spots still feel a little bland. They don't really feel like they're part of the story. They're just kind of there. Um, Tomorrowland is a big example of that. Tomorrowland definitely needs a refresh. Not a refresh like we saw in the late 90s, because that kind of felt like a downgrade from what Tomorrowland was supposed to feel like. But a refresh in the sense that new experiences, new artwork, new color schemes, maybe something brighter, happier, that bluish, whitish gray color scheme that they've going throughout Tomorrowland. Albeit it's a lot better looking than the steampunkish Jules Verne style copper coloring it had back in the 90s and early 2000s, but it still feels kind of like a sad area. To me, those colors that they currently have at in Tomorrowland don't evoke happy, fun feelings. They kind of evoke like industrial style building, a sense of like you're walking through just a factory type setting. And to me, that's not the way Tomorrowland should feel. Tomorrowland was supposed to be the hopes of the future. And I really want the Imagineers to get back to that and to put more into that. And this goes for what I've seen with the Tomorrowland at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom as well. They both have similar color schemes, although from what I remember from a really, really, really little kid when I did go to Magic Kingdom, that's kind of how it's been since it opened. But I'm hoping that the Imagineers do an amazing refresh on both those Tomorrowlands because they definitely feel way outdated, which does not coincide with the theme of tomorrow. Um, Getting back to the Haunted Mansion, I'm really glad that they did that, with one exception. I've seen the new store that they put just outside of the exit between the mansion and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I get the idea it's supposed to look like the staff's quarters, carriage house style building, but it just doesn't seem to mesh well with the overall feel of the mansion itself. It looks way too fresh, way too new, way too symmetrical and perfect to kind of give that older plantation style vibe that the mansion has. And I really hope that Disney is planning on doing some other things with that building to give it more of a look like it belongs as part of Gracie Manor's property. Because right now it just feels like it was just kind of placed there because they wanted to do something rather than just having the carts selling merch outside of the exit, which honestly, I like those a little bit better because they took up less space and it gave you an opportunity to just kind of weave through real quick and, you know, check out the latest Haunted Mansion merch and Disney merch that was available, especially throughout the different seasons that Disneyland hosts. But that's my opinion. I'm just a guest. What do I know? Actually, I know quite a bit, but I'm not somebody that Disney's going to pay attention to and say, hey, that idea is amazing. We're going to do that. I just don't have that kind of pull with the land that Walt built. I wish I did, but I don't. So yeah, that's it for this video. I just wanted to do a real quick, my thoughts, my opinions on the updated Haunted Mansion queue and Courtyard area. Again, amazing job by the Imagineers to really immerse you in the story of the manor and the property itself, and fill you in on some of the background of some of the guests that are still staying at the mansion. So yeah, my next video, I'm going to be talking about the most divisive Disneyland decision since the Rocket Rods, and that is the reimagining and retheme of Chickapin Hill and Splash Mountain becoming the Bayou of Louisiana with Tiano's Bayou Adventure. So I hope you stick around and watch that one next. If not, thanks for stopping by. Hope you at least enjoyed this content. Let me know what you thought down below. Like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends if you like it. Share it with your friends if you don't. Maybe they'll like it. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.